Hello guys, today we are going to review the new Ghost album, Prequelle. Now most of us in the heavy metal knowledge sphere know that Ghost is a pretty big band. Well, maybe not a major headlining act big, but a band who are definitely unique within the heavy metal genre. There's truly nothing else that sounds like them, and their absolutely shocking visual style is on par with acts such as Slipknot, Marilyn Manson, and the demonic rabbit from Donnie Darko. Now I don't mean to brag, but I really do. I've been listening to Ghost since their debut album. I love them how I love my dog. As far as Ghost is concerned, I love their instrumental work, and while admittedly, yes, the said instrumental work is not the most technical or skilled, what it is incredibly well composed, and their sound from album to album is quite eclectic while still maintaining its core ghostliness. And by ghostiness, I'm talking about musical jizz. Because let's be honest here, why do we even need to eat or drink the body and blood of Christ like the vicious, vampirical, cannibalistic f***ers we are, when we depravable souls can just bathe in satanic cum? And speaking of delectably edible demonic splooge, we have Prequelle, the fourth album by Ghost, and the follow-up to their massively successful 2015 LP, Ilioria, which contained the hit single Cirice, which notched the band's first Grammy win, as well as Satan's sixth. One more Grammy and he escapes from hell. Now, Ilioria was a really good album because it mixed some groovy heavy metal riffs with the more melodic vocals that the band is known for, but with Prequelle, the band has a much more operatic and experimental sound. And despite their dark subject matter, the tracks are actually a bit more upbeat and poppy than usual, as you can hear on their first single, Rats. However, this more up-tempo sound is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it's kind of brilliant. It sounds so good, in fact, that I would sell my soul to Satan himself to create music this fucking good. While sure, the album still contains some very crunchy riffs, as a whole, the album offers a much more experimental and prog rock metal style of sound that is exemplified on tracks like See the Light and Dance Macabre.
Just wanna be, I wanna be with you all night. Just wanna be, I wanna be with you one last time in the age of right.
Admittedly, the album itself isn't perfect. 3 of the songs on this 10-track album are purely instrumentals, and while that isn't necessarily a bad thing because they are still very high in quality, and one even features a saxophone. A very sexy saxophone. Speaking of which, don't forget to check out my content on Pornhub. What I'm trying to say is that those 3 instrumental tracks, while great, don't highlight the best aspect of the band, which is the lead singer's voice, who from what I understand basically is the band and writes basically all the music despite the fact he is fired and reincarnated from album to album. But I guess that makes sense. The satanic music business probably does have a very high turnover rate. And oh, by the way, yes, I do know the singer's actual name, but I don't want to say his name because some demons might drag my ass to hell. The people who play the instrumentals in the live show, as well as on the studio recordings, are basically just stand-ins for him. Basically, they're expendable. Like I said, high turnover rate. What I'm trying to say is the instrumental tracks don't highlight his vocal talent, and he is the core soul of the band. But with that said, Prequelle is probably one of Ghost's best albums. And that's actually kind of saying something because you can make the argument for any of their albums to be among their best albums. It's just what kind of fits for you. And for me, I absolutely adored this new experimental style with kind of the more progressive satanic church imagery as well as the sound, and it's just all around a fantastic listen. So yeah, highly recommend. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment if you like this video, and I will see you next time.